Yo, 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 yo. What up? What it do, YouTube? That's right. It's your boy. It's that boy, Lamont. That way Jones. Back in the building. Yep, you heard it right. It's that boy they call Lamont. That way Jones. Back in the building. And with that being said, I just wanted to thank everybody who decided to stop and rock with that boy they call Lamont. That way. Jones, this way. You dig? And with that being said, as you can already see, topic of discussion is how Mr. Trump continues to taunt these damn crazy ass Iranians. In other words, as you can see, what they would call fanning the flames as World War III fears, come about as Iran promises. As you can see, these people promise to turn day into night after being mocked by Trump over Qasem Soleimani, which was one of the main elite generals of the Iranian army, okay? Now, before I decide to get too deep off into this topic, I'm just going to clarify some things about who General Soleimani was. See, when it comes to an elite general like General Soleimani was widely seen as the second most powerful figure in Iran behind the Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay? Iran's foreign minister, who goes by the name of Javad Zarif, he described the strike as an act of international terrorism. Now, even though the comments that he made were pretty much hypocritical, if you ask me, because as you all know, Iran has been terrorizing countries, ever since, I can pretty much remember, okay? But anyway, a lot of people, they think that, Trump made a big mistake, because, don't forget, these are some of the same things that he criticized President Obama for. Remember he used to say that he was so incompetent that he's liable to start a war with Iran and all this type of stuff. Well, guess what? He never did any of that. Okay? Not only did he criticize President Obama about that, he also criticized President Obama for paying these people off because, don't forget, President Obama was a Muslim, and which is one of the main cultures that Iran practices. I believe that reason President Obama did what he did because he seen more eye to eye, I can guarantee you, on some of these people's, religious, and spiritual beliefs as well. You dig? In other words, which is the reason why I believe that President Obama did this to keep the peace, okay? Now, the same thing you criticized him about, you turned around and did yourself because he knew that he was on the brink of getting dethroned from his presidential, or should I say, seat in the White House. You dig? With that being said, as you can see, these people are very outraged about if Trump is behind those attacks, which I'm pretty sure he probably is. And you can see how enraged they are. They burning an American flag and everything. These people smell blood, okay? Now, with that being said, before I get any deep off into this topic, I want you guys to see this clip, okay? Now, I'll be back with my comments afterwards. You dig?
Brand new information on the second round of airstrikes in Iraq. Just 24 hours after the top Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani, was killed in a U.S. drone attack. Fox News correspondent Jillian Turner is following this breaking story for us this evening from our Washington bureau. Good evening, Jillian.
Hi, good evening, Martha. So breaking tonight, an Iraqi official telling the Associated Press an airstrike has hit 2 vehicles, both carrying Iran-backed militia fighters and killing 5 people just north of Baghdad. Fox News has yet to independently verify this incident. Martha, reporting is still very fluid this hour, but as of a few minutes ago, one U.S. official now saying it was not a U.S. airstrike. This incident comes just a day after the death of Soleimani, and the Trump administration now bracing for potential reprisal attacks, including cyber warfare. The Iranian regime's had what's the U.S. considers to be advanced cyber capabilities for about 10 years now. They've gone after U.S. interests in cyberspace before. They maintain the capability to do so again. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo warned about this earlier today. Take a listen.
There's always risk of cyber attacks. The Iranians have a deep and complex cyber capability, to be sure. Know that we've certainly considered that risk. Your point about risk here in the United States is real, too.
We've reported in the past about Iran's designs on U.S. infrastructure and their ultimate goal, which is carrying out cyber attacks on the U.S. power grid, banks, and even classified U.S. government computer systems. But now lawmakers, both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, are ringing alarm bells about a potential cyber conflict. Republicans claim anything Iran can do, the U.S. can do better.
Well, Iran's got a very sophisticated cyber capability, and so does the United States. So the proportionate response, whether it's in any interest in the Middle East or in the cyber domain, needs to be definitive and appropriate.
Democrats, though, say cyber conflict is now a sure bet.
We need to have a plan. If we are committed to de-escalation, we have to have a plan because a cyber attack is inevitable. An attack on an embassy, virtually inevitable.
Iran's cyber warfare hasn't been limited to the U.S. either. Government actors have in the past, Martha, been linked to cyber attacks on Israel, the U.K., and even Turkey. Martha.
Jillian Turner, thank you very much.
Now, as y'all just heard now, how, one of those guys was talking about whatever, that they can do, that America can do better. Well, you know what? We about to find out. Because Mr. Trump, he just started some shit with one of the worst terrorist countries in the world. Okay? He just started some shit, man, with one of the worst countries that you could ever start any type of conflict with in the world, okay? Because everybody knows, the power that these people have when it comes to cyber war, any type of cyber activity, period, okay? These people are talking about hitting us up, shutting off our main power grids, even though this is something that's been already widely talked about. But at the same time, not only that, these people also have access to some of the most highly sophisticated nuclear weapons in the world, okay? Now, with that being said, man, I hope that, that Mr. Trump knows what he's doing when it comes to starting wars with these type of people, even though we are superpowers. But at the same time, you still gotta remember how the old saying goes. Anyone or anything can be touched, no matter how powerful that these people are, or that or supposed to be. You dig? With that being said, in response to the strike, President Trump tweeted an image of the American flag. Now, this person who goes by the name of Ayatollah K, which is an Iran expert at what they call the RAND Corporation, a U.S. think tank, tweeted, "The notion that President Trump doesn't want war with Iran rings hollow if this was a deliberate attack." In other words, he's saying that President Trump definitely doesn't want any smoke with them. In other words, he's also saying that not to get it twisted, because they have their ways of getting revenge on the U.S. or whoever are the main, what they would call criminals who are behind, this latest attack on one of their main generals. Now, after that, on top of that, Mr. Trump tweeted on how many of the protesters that were, killed in Iran itself, while Iran will never be able to properly admit it, Soleimani was both hated and feared within the country. They are not nearly as saddened as the leaders will let the outside world believe. He should have been taken out many years ago. Now, this is one of Mr. Trump's tweets. Then on top of that, he also went on to say in a second tweet that General Qasem Soleimani has killed or badly wounded thousands of Americans over an extended period of time and was plotting to kill many more, but got caught. He was directly and indirectly responsible for the death of millions of people, including the recent large number of Americans that were killed during their attacks on the U.S. Embassy. Then, after that, in this third tweet, he went on to close out saying Iran has never won a war, but never lost a negotiation. Okay? On top of that, after that, the Ayatollah, which is one of the Iranians' elite military branches, went on to say severe revenge awaits the criminals behind the attack. He also announced 3 days of public mourning. Later, another one of Iran's elite generals, who goes by the name of Khamenei, threatened a bloody Jihad in revenge. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who knows, which is one of the main religions and, spiritual beliefs that these people and cultures that these people have always believed in and practiced, which also means all friends and enemies know that the Jihad of resistance will continue with more motivation, and definite victory awaits the fighters on this blessed path. The loss of our dear general is bitter. The continuing fight and ultimate victory will be more bitter for the murderers and criminals. And on top of that, adding more fuel to the fire, Trump tweeted again just before 2 p.m. that General Qasem had indeed been killed by U.S. airstrikes. General Soleimani had landed after traveling from either Syria or Lebanon at around 12:30 midnight, when he was met by Abdul Mahdi al-Mohandes, deputy commander of the pro-Iran Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq. As the cars passed through a cargo area for an access road leading out of the airport, the vehicle was then struck by at least 2 missiles, which also killed Abdul Mahdi al-Mohandes, deputy head of Iraqi's Association of Militant Forces. The Popular Mobilization Units was also killed in the attack. The Pentagon justified the assassination, saying that General Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq and throughout the region. The Pentagon also went on to say that General Soleimani approved of the attacks on the embassy as well. It had been reported that Ismail Qani has been appointed as commander of the Quds, or should I say Quds, force of the Revolutionary Guards by Ali Khamenei, which is the leader of the Islamic Republic. Okay, General Soleimani's killings marks a major escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Iran, most definitely. You dig? Because, with that being said, either way it goes, you guys, killing someone of this stature, especially when it comes to the Iranian military forces, man, listen, killing this type of target will most definitely be viewed as an act of war, regardless. I guarantee you guys that. You did. Killing Soleimani, was also, they say was because of the New Year's Eve attacks by Iran-backed militants on the U.S. Embassy, as I just stated, once before in Baghdad. On top of that, the two-day embassy attack, which ended on Wednesday, prompted Mr. Trump, to order about at least 750 U.S. troops, to be deployed to the Middle East. Okay? Now, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, before I end this video, I'm just gonna, briefly explain exactly who, General Qasem Soleimani was. Qasem Soleimani became head of the Quds Force in 1998, a position in which he kept a low profile for years while he strengthened Iran's ties with Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, the Syrian government, and the Shiite military groups in Iraq. He was also known as the Shadow Commander by his enemies, spending most of his career as a recluse and a spook. And believe me, he did look that way. You could tell by looking at this guy, he was very spooky as well as evil. Anyway, believe me, you guys, when it comes to these type of people, especially the ones that believe in, because the majority of these people, they strongly believe in the Jihad. In other words, these people don't mind dying. In other words, these are the type of people that don't give a damn about going on suicide missions just to kill your ass, okay? I'm serious. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I was just giving you guys a brief report on who this guy was that, or that this attack was carried out on, if you will, okay? Now, with that being said, some of the Democrats' responses to this happening was when they responded to the drone strike, Democrats took aim at Trump's decision. Former Vice President Joe Biden said in a statement that Trump just tossed a stick of dynamite into a tinderbox, and he owes the American people an explanation of the strategy. Much remains unknown, but Iran will surely respond. We could be on the brink of a major conflict across the Middle East, Joe Biden said in a statement, which was a recent statement that he made right after these attacks happened. But now get this. This is something I found, unbelievable. This is one woman that actually agreed with Trump, which is a woman that, if you guys know anything about politics, at least a little, when it came to presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren, who Trump has also insulted before, wrote on Twitter that Soleimani was a murderer and responsible for, like I was just saying, like a large, amount of deaths when he ended up carrying out the attack on the U.S. Embassy. Now get this, you guys, I kind of figured this already, because as you can see, these people, are not effing around. As you can see, as they continue to, set fire to American and British flags as well, okay? Now, but get this, y'all. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in the administration, said the administration conducted the airstrike without consultation of Congress or an authorization for use of military force against Iran. In other words, Mr. Trump took it upon himself to do that. Now, that's completely against the rules of Congress when you don't get the okay from the majority of the Senate to carry out these type of actions. Behind that, she also said it risks provoking a dangerous escalation in violence. No shit. Then Bernie Sanders went on to point out that approximately 4,500 American lives that may have already been lost in the Middle East. He said in a statement, Trump's dangerous escalation brings us closer to another disastrous war in the Middle East that could cost countless lives and trillions of dollars. Then, in another statement behind that, it says here, well, Trump promised to end endless wars, but this action puts us on the path to another one. Now, with that being said, my opinion, oh yeah, that action that he took most definitely put us at the brink of another war, which will be most definitely known as World War III because of the capabilities that these Iranians have. And I've stated some of those to you because, like I was saying, another one of Iran's advisors who goes by the name of Aman Khatami, you know, which is another one of the supreme leaders of the Ayatollah. Okay? He said in the chilling statement and the chilling threat as well to U.S. troops in the Middle East that it is time to clear the region from these, get this, y'all, insidious beasts. He also added, get this, y'all, I'm telling Americans, especially Trump, we will take revenge that will change their daylight into a nightmare of darkness. Well, damn. Now, with those type of words being said, these are the type of people that you definitely have to keep your guard up and cannot never ever let your guard down when it comes to having beef with these type of people that have these type of capabilities when it comes to shutting down a whole damn country's power grid. Okay? Now you guys, before I close this out, I'm just gonna say this because there's different ways that this could have been handled. Because if you pay attention to one of the tweets that Mr. Trump tweeted, he said that they haven't been good at winning anything else. It was negotiations, which he did not try to do. So, with that being said, is one of the main reasons why I believe instead of him trying to negotiate with these people, since he claims they're so good at negotiating, the reason why I believe he also decided to go about the other way of doing it. In other words, you might as well say Mr. Trump declared war on these people instead of trying to negotiate with them because he knew that he was on the brink of being, or should I say, losing his presidential seat of the United States of America. I can almost guarantee you that's one of the main reasons why instead of him trying to negotiate, which Obama did, which he criticized Obama for starting a war with these people instead of negotiating, which he also, like I just said, did the opposite of. I can almost guarantee you that's one of the main reasons why he decided to declare war on these people, because he's already in the damn hot seat. You dig? Believe me when I tell you this. So I'm just going to tell you this, my people, especially the people of my kind, as well as all my other fellow Americans, because like I said, I've never been racist. I'm just going to say this, my people. Y'all best to brace yourself for this huge bucket of mess, or should I say, I'm just going to be frank, bucket of shit that Mr. Trump pretty much has us in. Not saying that we can't defend ourselves. Don't get me wrong, like I said, yeah, true enough, we're a superpower, but at the same time, like I just stated once before, don't forget, you can never be too big, or nobody's never too big or powerful to be touched, okay? Because I've seen some of the best of the richest people get their asses touched up, regardless of their status. You dig? So, my people, stay on guard, brace yourselves, because we're dealing with some people that's capable of shutting our entire power grid down with the push of a damn button, okay? With that being said, I just wanted to thank everybody who decided to stop and rock with that boy they call a mutt. That way, Jones, this way. And may the Most High continue to bless you and all your families while you're out on that paper chase, swimming with them sharks, trying to provide for your families during the rat race. You dig? Till next time, y'all. Peace. Peace out.